how much it goes against the European American stereotype of a passive, submissive Asian woman, you see. I mean, if you think of who are Asian women in operas, the most famous Asian woman in an opera is Butterfly. Now, the plot of Butterfly happens to be identical to the plot of Mae Naak. You know, a lovely woman is, husband leaves, has a baby. Now, then in Madame Butterfly, husband comes back. It turns out to be, you know, a total renegade. And wife kills herself. Now that's of course the sort of the stereotypical vision of how Asian women are. They do everything for their husbands, and then when their husband is bad to them, they feel very dishonored and they commit suicide. Well, of course, Mae Naak is a very different figure, and you must realize that in Thailand, women are not very passive. I mean, once in a while, actually, really, rather frequently in Thailand, you read in the news of women who castrate their husbands in fits of jealousy when they look at another woman. And that's one infamous case of a woman who cut off her husband's penis and fed it to the ducks. I mean, I'm rather delighted that I managed to get one of the most popular Madame Butterflies in the world, really, you know, Nancy Yuen, who's played the role in many, many countries, in many, many opera houses. And in fact, I think her very first role was in this opera when she had just graduated from the Royal Academy. This was her first major role was in Butterfly. Actually, it's an interesting thing because, of course, Asian sopranos are often typecast as butterflies because sometimes it's the only job they can get at first until they can prove themselves. Well, she is, of course, a well-known butterfly, and many of the characteristics of her voice that make her a well-known butterfly, for example, the lovely leggero, high tone, the pianissimo top B flats, for example, they're very much called for in Butterfly, and also very much called for in this opera. The sort of gutsy low tones, there are a few of those in Butterfly and a few of those in my opera as well. In fact, I've actually called for the identical soprano that sings Butterfly in this opera because I'm thinking to myself, how many beautiful Asian sopranos, while sadly singing about their honor and so on, would dearly love to rip out Pinkerton's guts or chop off his head. I keep thinking, well, you know, this is their chance. I'll write an opera for exactly the same kind of soprano and let her do all the things she wished she could do while singing Madame Butterfly, right? So that's really the rationale for casting Nancy Yuen in this role. In fact, writing the role, especially for her. If you're familiar with classical Thai music, traditional classical Thai music, you would find that the opera is permeated with melodic ideas that come from that genre of music. On the other hand, if you had grown up on a diet of Richard Strauss, you could also possibly not hear the Thai elements at all. Well, that's one aspect of the language. But the second aspect of the musical language comes from horror, you see, because I believe that the successors to the great operatic composers of the early 20th century were not the operatic composers necessarily of the later 20th century, but really the film composers. So those are all the people who who fled to Hollywood or century. I mean, Handel produced his own operas, wrote the music, decided who was going to be in them, directed them, and did the staging. And my first production of Mae Naak was exactly that. I wrote the music, did the staging, conducted the opera, and knew who was going to sing it before I had written a note of the music. So for the third production, the one to take to England, we wanted to use neither of those two productions, but to go back to the first production, which had sort of the Gesamtkunstwerk, the idea that it was all sort of from one set of thought. Wanted to take that, but make it more in tune with how things are today, in the general opera world today. So I invited the British director, Stefan Sanchez, to revive the opera. And so he did that, and so there are many touches that are also his own in this production. Then this is an opera that is actually designed as part of the horror genre, as